Welcome, Virgo, to High Moon Tarot. This is your love catch-all for June. We're just going to make sure we shuffle really good for you here. I'm using the Radiant Rider weight, in case anybody's wondering. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I like to put all the cards upright and cleanse them in between signs. You don't have to do that, but it's just something I like to do. This is a 9-card spread. And it gives us all kinds of juicy intel. Let's see what we got for you, Virgo. First card is going to reveal the pull. What is pulling them in June? What pulls them towards you in June? What is the magnetic pull that pulls them towards you in June? This can be for Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, Virgo Moon, Virgo Venus. Queen of Swords. Upright. Second card is going to reveal their unedited feelings. These are their feelings before they edit them, before they put on their mask, before they decide what's safe or the right thing to show, or what they should show, or what they're supposed to do. Show me, Virgos, person's unedited feelings in June. Whoa, Tower. There's a lot going on. Third placement is what they want. This is just want. Okay. We have the Justice card upright. The fourth placement, this is resistance. This is kind of what gets in the way of them showing up fully. If there's anything, it can be internal, external. It can be about their own feelings, them. It can be about kids, work. Let's see, what's the resistance for Virgo's person here in June? We have the Page of Wands reversed. Card 5 is going to reveal the blind spot. This is what you don't see yet. It's still affecting the relationship, but you don't see it yet. It hasn't come into view. Or it might be you don't realize it, or they don't realize it. What's the blind spot for Virgos in June regarding this relationship they're thinking about? You have the Sun. Nice blind spot. You're being blinded by the light. Okay, the next placement. This is a 2-card draw here for this one. This is card 6 and 7 go together. It's what I like to call the alignment check. Card 6 is how they show up when it's easy. Then we're going to pull card 7 and see if it goes together. This is how they show up when it's easy. Knight of Wands. Upright. That's how they show up when it's easy to show up. This is how they show up when it counts. When things aren't easy. When there's work involved. when there's effort involved. This is how they show up when it counts. Page of Cups. Upright. This next placement is their power move. Oh, excuse me. This is their next move. This is their next steps. This is what you can expect for their next steps forward here regarding this relationship. Judgment. Now we get to the power move. The 9th placement, all comes back to you, Virgo. This is your best move. This is your next best step in June regarding this relationship. Show me Virgo's next best step. Seven of Pentacles. Okay. We're gonna switch the camera so that you can take a look at your cards too, and I'm gonna tell you what they all mean coming together. And then at the end, I'm gonna pull a rune to tie it all in, and give it the last word. Rune gets the final word. Okay, Virgo. We're gonna take a closer look here at your cards. The first card you pulled, the Queen of Swords, for the pull. This placement is what feels magnetic or attractive or intriguing or is activating your person right now. This is what they're pulled to, the energy about you in June. And the Queen of Swords, this is not a fluffy pull. This is, the Queen of Swords is smart, she's direct, she's honest, she's emotionally composed. She has standards. Like, she's been through a lot to know what she knows. She's not naive. She does not need to scream to be powerful. And her power's in her clarity. So this card often shows someone who can read between the lines. She notices tones. She notices inconsistency. She notices what's said and what's not said. This energy, this queen has boundaries because she's learned from experience. And in a love reading, the Queen of Swords usually not soft or gushy or blindly romantic. This is a sword card. So the attraction is also mental. So they may be drawn to your mind or your words, your discernment. They might like the fact that you're honest, the fact that you're smart, your ability to cut through confusion. Yeah, so the attention here is being pulled to how you think, how you speak, how you observe or understand things. That's what they're being pulled to. And because it's a queen, it's mature energy. So they're seeing you in queen energy. The queen does not chase. She sits in her knowing. She has authority over her own mind. She's independent. And so they may be drawn to the fact that you're not acting desperate. You're not confused and you're not easy to sway. So you might be coming across as clear, hard to impress, emotionally controlled, careful with access, not easily fooled, selective. You may be direct, not overly available. This queen, this is not someone who's going to play dumb just to keep the peace. She listens, but she's also paying attention. So, and that can be very attractive to someone, especially if they're used to people reacting emotionally or chasing them or accepting vague answers. You can come across as someone who has standards or someone who asks the right questions or someone who's not just going to fall for charm. The Queen of Swords can be attractive because she creates a feeling of respect and she demands respect. The person may feel like you're not someone they can just casually run a game on. They may feel like, Virgo, you'll see right through them. And that can be intimidating, but it's also magnetic. Some people are drawn to the person who does not overreact, or the person who does not immediately give everything away. They're drawn to the person who sits back, observes, or maybe a little, says very little, but still makes the other person feel seen. So it's your clarity that makes them feel curious, or your standards makes them pay attention. It's your emotional control makes them wonder what you really think. There may be attraction to your voice, your words, your intelligence, the advice you give, the way you name things accurately and see straight to the point of things. They're drawn in by your honesty, the way you say how you feel, or if you like something or if you don't. You might not sugarcoat. Yeah. You might be the type of person that says, that doesn't make sense, or I hear you, but your actions are saying something different. And that can be attractive because it feels real. So this person may be used to surface level attention, but your energy feels sharper than that, and that creates a different kind of pull. So they're drawn to your boundaries. The Queen of Swords is someone who's learned to protect their peace. This is a person that's been through a lot, and through that experience, they don't open the gate for everybody. So this person may be drawn to you because you're not as emotionally open, available, or easy to access. Maybe you're not as easy to access as you were before. Maybe that's what it is. You may be kind and interested, but Virgo's not throwing the whole door open without discernment here. That can make someone feel like they have to show up correctly if they want access. They're drawn to the fact that there's a mental attraction here. They like how you think, how you explain things. They like your wit, your sarcasm, your ability to make sense out of complicated situations. And Queen of Swords can be really attractive because she has a really sharp mind. She sees patterns, she notices details. And Virgo as a sign also carries that analytical, observant quality. So with the Queen of Swords and the pull, that can be doubled down on. They're drawn to the way you see what other people miss. They may like that you see through things. Or if you're a person using, or if your person is used to being charming, vague, or avoidant, or emotionally hard to read, your Queen of Swords energy can make them feel exposed. And that can be attractive and uncomfortable. Some people are drawn to the person who challenges their usual way of moving. Virgo might not be impressed by words alone, or, Virgo, you might need consistency, logic, or truth, and follow through. And that can make you stand out. Your person might be drawn to the way you can keep your composure. Maybe you're not chasing. Maybe you're not over texting. You might be warm, but you're still measured. That can make a person wonder, I wonder what they're really thinking. Do they still care? Or have they pulled back? Or can I still reach them? That mystery can create pull. Not because you're playing games, but because you're not spilling your whole emotional world for someone who's not earned it. Another angle here is that they respect you, but they also might feel challenged by you. Queen of Swords can be attractive because she commands respect, but she can also make someone nervous if they know they have not been fully honest or consistent or mature. This person might be drawn to you but also aware that you're not going to accept nonsense forever. So the pull has a little bit of edge to it here. They like your clarity, but they also know that that clarity can cut through excuses. So the Queen of Swords is also someone with boundaries. So part of the attraction may be that you're not wide open to just anything. There's a sense that if someone wants access to you, they need to come correct. And that can be intimidating, but it can also be really magnetic. There's something magnetic about how you hold your standards. This placement, the second placement, this is unedited feelings. So this placement shows what they are feeling underneath the surface. It's what sits beneath the pride or the image or the control or the fear or the silence or avoidance. It's whatever version of themselves they may be presenting to the outside. This is the true emotional undercurrent of that. And you pulled the Tower. And because the Tower is a major arcana card, this is not usually a small passing mood. Major arcana cards point to bigger themes, turning points, life lessons, or spiritual pressure, or something that affects the person on a deeper level. Yeah. So this is not like, oh, they're a little nervous or they're a little annoyed. This feeling is hitting something a lot deeper. The Tower is sudden disruption. It's truth breaking through. It's a false structure cracking or something unstable being exposed. And the Tower usually shows up when something can't stay the same. Something that was ignored or denied or avoided or built on weak foundations starts to break open. So this placement's, their feelings are not quiet. The Tower can mean their emotional state is shaken, disrupted. They might be feeling overwhelmed or suddenly forced into awareness. They may feel like something's cracked open inside them or in their lives. They may feel like the old understanding of the connection or themselves isn't holding anymore, or the situation. And this can feel super intense, as you can tell by these people falling from the Tower. It's not really a fun card. The Tower's not gentle. It's not a gentle energy. It can feel very uncomfortable and shocking, or it can feel like pressure. It can feel like truth they didn't want to deal with or didn't ask to deal with. This can also show a sudden realization or an epiphany. So a truth may be hitting all at once. They may be realizing something about their feelings or the connection or their behavior, but something that can't be ignored anymore. The Tower and feelings can also totally disrupt someone's sense of control. They may have wanted to keep things casual or distant or logical or contained, but the emotional current underneath is not staying neatly contained with this card. Something may have exposed the truth or a truth. The Tower can show the mask cracking. Something may have been revealed. What was already underneath. Whether that's attraction or fear or regret or guilt or emotional intensity. It's definitely emotional intensity because it's in the feelings placement. You might not know this, or they might not be showing it. This is a hard card to hide, but I guess some people can. But you might know this is how they're feeling. They might not be able to hide it, but this can feel very overwhelming. It can be like emotional overload, not necessarily because the connection's bad or anything, but because something inside them's been activated very strongly. The old story's breaking down, and they may have believed one thing, and now their belief's not holding. They may have told themselves they didn't care, or they didn't feel much, or they were over something, or they're fine, or they can keep everything under control, and that story's falling apart. Their feelings might also feel very inconvenient. The Tower can show emotions that arrive at the wrong time or the wrong way, or with more force than someone expected or wanted. It can feel like, this is not what I planned to feel. But, you plan something and then life happens. Sometimes the Tower is not about what someone else did. It can be about being shocked by their own emotional response. They may be surprised at how much this matters to them. They might be detached, and this could be all inner turmoil. Or they might be emotional, or they could be defensive, or they might be chaotic, or they could be acting difficult. But underneath whatever behavior is showing, the Tower points to deep inner disruption. This is emotional impact before any kind of emotional understanding. They might feel like, I thought I had this handled, but I definitely don't. So their unedited feelings are intense and disruptive, and they're hard to keep contained. Something inside them has been shaken, that's for sure. It doesn't look very fun. It doesn't. Okay, this is what they want. Justice. So this placement's what they want out of the connection. Justice is another major arcana card. And so this is not just a passing desire or surface level want. This points to something deeper around truth or fairness. Doing what is right, or accountability. So in this placement, justice can mean they want the connection to be handled honestly. They may want clarity or fairness. They may want things to be balanced instead of confusing or hidden or one-sided or messy. Justice can also show wanting the truth to come out. So this person may want to know where they stand, what is real, what's fair, or what the right decision is. This card can also point to accountability. They may want someone to take responsibility for their actions, their choices, their words, or the role they have played in the connection somehow. Justice isn't always like soft romance. It's clean, honest, and balanced energy. It asks what's fair, or what's true here, or what's the right thing to do. So what they want maybe for this connection to be brought into balance somehow. They want honesty, a fair conversation, or a decision that feels aligned with truth. What they want is for the connection to be brought back into what they think is balanced. Our next card, card 4. This represents the resistance in the relationship. So this placement's going to show what creates hesitation, what creates delay or avoidance or inconsistency. It's what stops the person from completely and fully showing up, whether that be internal or external circumstances. You pulled the Page of Wands reversed for the resistance, and because it's a wand card, the resistance is connected to fire and energy, and desire, and attraction, or passion, courage, movement, taking action. So the issue is not lack of spark. With wands, there's absolutely an attraction or interest here, but because the card's reversed, that fire is not moving cleanly. It might be scattered or blocked, inconsistent, impulsive, or poorly directed. And because it's a page, the energy is still young, unpracticed, or underdeveloped. Pages are beginner energy. They're just learning how to express the suit they belong to. So with the Page of Wands reversed, the resistance can come from someone not knowing how to handle their desire, or their attraction, or excitement, or the urge to act in a mature or consistent way. So upright, the Page of Wands is curious and excited. They're bold and playful, ready to explore, and they're passionate. But reverse, that same energy can lose direction. The spark's there, but it's not grounded in a clear path. So the cause can be lack of direction, lack of confidence, lack of motivation, fear of rejection, or the resistance could be fear of embarrassment or not knowing what step to take next. This behavior can look like scattered or inconsistent. They may hesitate or start and stop. They might come in bold and then disappear, or flirt without grounding, or send energy that feels exciting in the moment and then nothing happens with it. There's no actual progress or follow through. The pattern is there's no clear path forward. So there's spark, but not enough follow through. There may be desire, but not enough maturity. They may be interested, but not enough direction or effort is put forth. So what that means for you is that this does not naturally progress unless energy becomes more focused or consistent. This person may want movement, but not know how to create it properly. And they may want to express interest, but fear of looking immature or exposed or rejected. They may hold back because they do not want their desire to land wrong. Or they may do the opposite. They act too quickly. Or they say something impulsive, or they create heat, and then they're not sure what to do afterward with it. The Page of Wands reverse can also show immature communication, because pages can be messengers. So reverse pages can bring delayed messages, unclear messages, or flirty but empty messages, or inconsistent communication that doesn't carry enough maturity behind it. So the resistance is not that there's no attraction. There's attraction. It's more like there's fire, but it's not being handled well. The spark exists, but the direction is weak. There's desire, but the follow-through's lacking, or the energy might be exciting, but it's not stable to move the connection forward in a reliable way. Yeah, or they're handling their spark very immaturely. And that is the resistance. Immature fire. The resistance isn't lack of fire, it's just lack of direction. Okay. Next we have 5. We got the blind spot. The sun. How can you be blind with the sun? Okay, so this is the blind spot. This is what's active in the connection, but not being fully seen or named or acknowledged. And this placement can come from either side. All the other placements, we're asking their feelings, your power move, their next move, how they show up. And this is the placement where it can come from either side. So, or the connection's creating it between the both of you. So this is them or you or the connection itself. And the sun is another major arcana. Got a lot of major arcanas here. A lot of stuff happening for Virgo. Big changes and stuff going on. The sun is the major arcana. So this is not just a small detail. The sun is one of the most positive cards in the deck. And many readers call it the most positive card in the deck. It brings warmth, happiness, openness, clarity, something coming into the light. So with the sun in the blind spot, there may be something genuinely positive here that's not fully recognized. There's warmth and happiness and openness. There's attraction, positive potential that's being either underestimated, minimized, or overlooked. The sun doesn't mean everything's perfect. It doesn't erase problems or immaturity or inconsistency or timing issues or real life complications. It's just that something good may still be present here, and it needs to be seen clearly for what it is, not exaggerated, but also not dismissed. Another layer here with the sun is that something can feel good without automatically becoming deep. So there can be warmth and happiness, but the warmth's not the same as depth. Someone may enjoy the lightness of the connection without knowing how to bring the maturity, honesty, vulnerability, or emotional substance needed for it to grow. Or maybe they don't want to. Maybe they just enjoy it being surface level. So the blind spot's not just whether happiness exists, it's whether the positive part of the connection is being recognized honestly and developing into something real. The sun here says, don't dismiss what feels good, but also don't confuse good feelings with a fully built connection. Sometimes something positive gets dismissed because another part of the connection is louder. Confusion or pride or timing or maturity, outside pressure, unresolved issues, whatever they might be. But the sun's still saying the positive part still deserves to be seen honestly and acknowledged where there's good. I've seen worse blind spots. Okay, we're going to move into the alignment check here. All right. So this is where we compare how they show up when it's easy versus how they show up when something actually matters. So when it's easy, when nothing's heavy or being asked of them. When the connection feels fun, exciting, convenient or natural or low pressure. Versus when it counts, when something's real is being asked of them and there's honesty or emotional presence or maturity needed. When consistency or accountability or patience or respect or follow through is needed. So this part of the reading is not just asking, are they interested? It's asking, does their energy stay aligned when the connection requires more? And when it's easy, you have the Knight of Wands. So when there's no pressure, this person can come in with fire. They may be bold and passionate and flirty and exciting. This person might come in adventurous and spontaneous and very physically attracted. This is the playboy of the zodiac. Of the tarot, not the zodiac. But yeah, so he comes in, he knows what he wants. They may know how to bring the heat. This guy, he knows how to bring the heat. But they may know how to show up when the connection feels fun and exciting and desirable. But the Knight of Wands can be inconsistent. So it's fast-moving fire. It can rush in, enjoy the spark. It likes the chase. And then struggle when the connection needs steadiness or patience or the things that aren't as exciting and fun. So when it's easy, they may show up with a lot of passion and energy, but that does not automatically mean they're showing up with emotional maturity. When it counts, you have a Page of Cups. It's kind of going down a step. So when something more real is being asked of them, they don't become cold, but they may become emotionally smaller. Page of Cups is sweet and sincere. They can be apologetic or tender. They can be romantic or vulnerable, but it's still page energy. They're beginner energy. They're learning how to express the suit they belong to. So the Pages of Cups can be someone who may offer a message, a soft reach out. It might be an apology. a gentle expression of feeling. This person has soft feelings for you for sure. Or a little emotional honesty, but they might not know how to fully hold the emotional weight of the situation, because we're asking how they show up when it really counts. It may be sincere, but it's a little underdeveloped. So the contrast is, when it's easy, they show up with passion. And when it counts, they show up with emotion, but not necessarily emotional maturity. That tells me that the chemistry might be stronger than the emotional capacity. They may be more confident with desire than they are with vulnerability. They may know how to bring passion, but not always know how to bring emotional responsibility. They may know how to come in hot, but when something deeper is needed, they come in softer, younger, or less certain. So the question is not whether there's attraction. We can see that there's lots of attraction. This person is definitely attracted to you. The question is whether the attraction can mature into emotional responsibility. And I'm finding it very interesting too that they're showing up as pages and wands, but they see you as a queen. So it might not be a problem with chemistry. There might be a little bit of difference in maturity. Okay, our next move is the Judgment. Now we're moving into their next move. This placement shows the likely next action or behavioral direction from this person based on their current energy. It's not a promise or a fixed outcome, but it does show the direction things may move in if the energy continues as it is. But we all have free will, and nothing's written in stone, right? So things can change. So for their next move, you have Judgment upright. And again, this is another major arcana. And the major arcana usually makes the next move feel more significant. So this is not a small, casual move. Major arcanas point to bigger themes, turning points, awakenings, power shifts, or moments that carry more weight here. The Judgment's a card of awakening, or review, or accountability, second chances, decisions, or hearing the call. It can bring something back up that cannot stay buried anymore. So as their next move, Judgment can show a realization, a return, a decision. It might be a moment of accountability or a conversation that brings something unresolved back into view. This can look like them reaching out or coming back around or opening a conversation or apologizing. You got apologies coming here, Virgo. It might be owning something or making a choice, asking for another chance, or addressing something that's been sitting unresolved. It's not an impulsive action, though. This is a responsive action. Judgment's movement that comes after reflection, evaluation, or realizing that something needs to be answered. This person may be realizing the impact of their choices or their silence or their behavior or the way a connection has unfolded. Judgment can bring back things into the present. A moment of truth may be coming forward because something needs to be faced or answered or decided. So their next move is less about casual flirting and more about answering the situation. So this card asks, what are you going to do about it now that you know what you know? If they don't act right away, they might not come knocking on your door right away or call or text you right away. It might be still in the process of internal reviewing or realizing or deciding. But once Judgment becomes action, it usually has a purpose behind it. And the quality of the move matters. This is not just they come back. It's, do they come back with answers? Do they do what needs to be answered? Do they understand what needs to be answered? Are they willing to take responsibility for what's happened? And so their next move may be a response after reflection. Something unresolved may be coming back into awareness because they can feel called to answer it, revisit it, or make a decision about it. Judgment's not a guarantee of perfect closure. It doesn't guarantee they're going to handle it well, because they do have their emotions are going crazy. But it does show that the next movement is connected with realization or some kind of accountability or epiphany, and they need to respond to what's been sitting unresolved. It doesn't show guaranteed closure. It just shows a call to respond to whatever's needs to be responded to. Now we're going to bring this back to you, Virgo. It's bringing it back to you in a way that you still have agency here. So this card shows where your power sits, where to act, where to wait, where to soften, or where to speak up, where to stop overextending yourself, or where to let reality show what's actually there. Your power moves, the move that keeps you in your integrity while still giving the connection the cleanest possible chance to show what it really is. So for your power move, you have the Seven of Pentacles. And because the Pentacle card in your power move, this shows where your practical power sits in the connection. Pentacles deal with standards, time, your body, effort, stability, self-worth. They deal with routine, resources, real life choices, patience. And because it's a 7, 7s are reflection and assessment, questioning, patience. There's evaluation here. So astrologically, the 7 of Pentacles is connected to Saturn and Taurus, actually. So that makes sense for this card, because Taurus wants something real and stable and valuable and worth building. But Saturn, anything to do with Saturn is going to takes time and be about delays and lessons and reality checks. So your power move is to not rush. It's to not panic. It's not to overinvest just because something has potential. Your power move is to step back and assess the investment honestly. That's so Virgo. We couldn't have got more of a Virgo power move here. Just be you, Virgo. Your power move is to just step back and assess the investment honestly. So, Virgo, just be yourselves. So, the 7 of Pentacles asks you to look at what your effort's actually producing. How much time, energy, emotion, or hope and effort you've put into this. Or what has it grown? Is this connection growing? Is it stagnating? Does it consume all your energy? Are you seeing real progress, or are you watering potential here? Are there actions that show development, or just moments that you keep hoping for? This card's not saying give up, but it's also not saying keep waiting forever. It's saying pause and assess the harvest. The power in the 7 of Pentacles is patience with discernment. Not desperate patience, not passive waiting, not staying because you already invested so much. This is mature patience. It's the kind that's like, I can give something time, but I'm also going to be honest about what that time is showing me. Patience is wise here. But only if the process is healthy. If something is slowly growing, that's one thing. If something's only draining you while you wait for it to become what you hope for it to be, that's a whole nother thing. The risk with the 7 of Pentacles is sunk cost energy. So staying invested out of habit, staying invested out of history or hope, or because you already gave so much. So your power, move thoughtfully. not blind waiting. In real life, this can mean watching their actions before making your next move, or it can mean not forcing a conversation before you're clear. It can mean giving a situation a little space to reveal itself. It can mean looking at patterns instead of promises. It can mean asking yourself whether the return matches the investment. But sometimes the Seven of Pentacles is not about whether something is potential. It's about whether that potential is actually producing anything. So your power move is to evaluate before you invest more. Don't abandon your standards because something is almost growing. Do not keep pouring into something just because you want it to become something. Don't confuse waiting with wisdom unless the waiting is showing you real evidence. Your power here is knowing the difference between slow growth and wasted effort. So let the connection show you what it's growing into before you decide how much more of yourself to give. All right. There might even be a wake-up call coming. The real question is whether this person can turn attraction and feelings and realization into mature action, or whether you're seeing real growth or just waiting on potential. We're gonna go to the end of this reading by pulling a rune. The rune always gets the final word in my readings. Deeper message or grounding advice or a piece of truth that they want to leave you with to close the reading here. What do you have for Virgo? We have see that? I'm going to zoom into it here for you. This is about endings and transformations. It represents yew wood. Yew wood was used to make bows, and those were tools tied to life and death, where one thing ends so something else can continue. Something here can't continue as it is. It's coming to an end. That can look like something deepening or becoming more, shifting or fully closing. But whatever it is, it doesn't stay the same. Don't try to hold on to it in this version. It's already outgrown. Let it become whatever it's turning into, not what it used to be. This is moving into a new phase, whether that strengthens it or ends it. That's what I have for you, Virgo. Thanks for being here with me. See you next time.